Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video, and if you have just joined me here then thank you for coming along and I hope you enjoy it. So today's video is going to be all about pregnancy, how I got on with labour and birth, so I hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe and notification button to make sure that you're here for another video. But for now, let's get into it. So, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love watching people's videos on real life and especially about birth and things like that, things that I've been through myself. So I really thought that I'd like to come on and tell you my experience and my story. Now, I'm not an expert, I've been through it once, you know, everyone's different, everyone's experience is different, so please don't worry if some of the things I say in here are, you know, they worry you a little bit. Just don't worry, okay, because everybody is different, like I said. So basically my experience is we were trying for a baby for, well, to be honest, about a month. Me and my partner Gavin. We decided, this was in 2018, that we were ready to start having a baby, start trying for a baby. At this point we'd been together I think for around about 7 years. It's been about 9 years now, so about 7 years, and we just moved into our own place. We moved into Cornwall. I'm originally from Birmingham and Gavin's originally, well, just outside of Birmingham, and Gavin's originally from Manchester, but as we worked a lot in Cornwall we decided to stay around here. And that's what we did, we got our own place. Now we ummed and ahed about trying for a baby for a couple of months because we was always worried, you know, about money situations and we can't do it because we haven't got enough money. But then I thought, well, we might never have enough money, so let's just try it anyway. So we did, we tried for a baby, and within a month of trying, well, I got pregnant. It was really that quick. I found out I was pregnant on the 12th of February. I took a pregnancy test. This was 12th February 2018, sorry, which I found out. Gavin was actually working away when I found out I was pregnant, which was obviously, for me, when I took the test on my own in the house, it was quite daunting and really scary, and the fact that I had to ring him to tell him while he was working away, that was really scary too. So I was going to wait at first to tell him that I was pregnant for when he got back, so he was away for about 2 weeks at this point, but I thought, no, I'm actually gonna ring him up and tell him now because I can't wait, because I was so excited and nervous and scared, you know, all at the same time. So I thought, no, I'm just gonna tell him anyway. So I messaged him one day and I said to him, right, I think you need to sit down. He knew I was going to take the tests, but we didn't think, because previous to this, about 2 months before I think it was, I had like a chemical pregnancy, so I got told I was pregnant by a test, and then I had other tests saying I wasn't pregnant and so on. But this time I definitely was. So when I told him, as you can imagine, he was also shocked. He had to keep it a secret. He was working with his friend and he had to keep it a secret. So I was there on the phone telling him, and then I told my best friend, and then I told my parents, and obviously Gavin's mum as well. And yeah, it was all just a bit fast, to be honest. Like, we thought, oh, we'll try and it might take forever, but it didn't. And it happened to be when he was away that we found out. So yeah, anyway, with pregnancy, I mean, the first trimester I didn't really get much sickness. I think I was, you know, sick a couple of days, but I didn't really get much of it. I didn't suffer with the sickness, so I was quite lucky with that. The one thing I did suffer with a lot though is, sorry for the information, was heaving a lot. Like, I'd be out in the street and I'd have a conversation with somebody and I'd start heaving for no reason, but I wouldn't be sick, I'd just heave. And feeling like I was going to, but I never was. It also happened when I was singing, so I used to go and sing, and sometimes I'd have to have chewing gum in my mouth whilst I'd be singing, which I really don't like, but it would stop me from heaving, like if I was to do a big note, which I did find quite funny, especially looking back on it. So that was brilliant. Like, so the heaving, that was one thing. And cravings, I mean, as far as cravings go, I didn't get like really big cravings, but the one thing I did crave was sweet stuff. Like, Gavin had to go out one day to the cinema one day and get me a what they call an ice blast. I had to go and get me an ice blast from the cinema because I was really craving like cold icy sweetness, and I thought an ice blast is the only thing that is gonna help me. So that's what he did. He went to the cinema and he got me an ice blast because that's what I was craving. And anything strawberry flavoured as well. That was another thing that I craved, was strawberries and anything icy and freezing cold. And yeah, but that's it really. I didn't really get any weird cravings. Like, I know some people out there, they crave coal and and things like that, but no, luckily for me it was just cold stuff, strawberry stuff and icy stuff. As we come into the second trimester, I mean, the sweet stuff backfired because I went for a glucose test, and unfortunately I did find out that I got gestational diabetes, which it wasn't pleasant. You know, I had to check my bloods every day. I had to watch what I was eating, when obviously when you're pregnant all you want to do is eat rubbish stuff, and obviously me craving sweet stuff, that was a bit of a nightmare. But well, I say the good thing, it was also a bit strange. During my pregnancy, I actually lost weight. Now, a lot of people said to me, that's not possible, you can't lose weight whilst pregnant, because obviously being pregnant, a lot of the time you put weight on. You know, it's just a fact, it does happen. But I actually lost weight during my pregnancy because I was eating so well. I had to stop all the sweet stuff, you know, stop all the icy sweet drinks, which, Vimto, that was one of my things that I absolutely loved, and I had to stop it. I had to stop drinking it, which was really upsetting. But you know, it was one of those things I had to do for me to be healthy and for my baby to be healthy, which luckily she was. So yeah, I went through gestational diabetes. You know, it was fine. I had to watch what I was eating and that really, but other than that I didn't really suffer, so that was good. I suffered with my pelvis a little bit during pregnancy, just the heaviness of everything. I did get a couple of like pelvis cramps here and there, but yeah, that didn't really stop me doing anything. So yeah, really my pregnancy overall was fine, apart from the gestational diabetes, but that wasn't a massive issue. It was just really watching what I was eating and that, like I've said. So yeah, I mean, pregnancy for me was fine. So then it came to being induced. I was told that I would have to be induced. I was 4 days overdue, and they said to me that I couldn't go any more than 4 days over because of the diabetes. So I was taken in on the 28th, 2018, the 28th of October 2018, sorry, to be induced. So I first went in, I got given the room, and I was told that I'd have to have a pessary. So I got given the pessary. That was in me for 24 hours, and that's supposed to help you so it softens your cervix. It did nothing for me. It really didn't help. It didn't help at all. Yeah, so that was there for 24 hours. In the end, I actually had to take it out myself after the 24 hours because it just didn't do anything. So they said, take it out and we'll go for the next thing. They tried to give me a sweep, but my cervix was too far up, so they couldn't do that. So the next thing that they wanted to do was obviously take me up to the labour ward and to induce me with the drip. So we did that. I went into the room. As soon as I got into that room, that was it. I started bawling my eyes out, started crying, panicking. Gav was with me at this point, and my mum was on her way to come and be with me as well. So yeah, eventually my mum turned up as well. She was with me, and then they got the drip, so they wanted to put the drip in me. So that was an experience in itself, because they first of all put the drip in, and then when the lady came back about half an hour to see if my contractions had started, she actually said to me, the drip's not working. It's because the midwife before her had actually not turned the drip on, and the drip was dripping on the floor and not dripping in me. So my contractions still hadn't started. So this was obviously the next day, so this was the 29th. So I'm waiting and yeah, nothing was happening. So then as this went on, obviously the drip started working, I started to get contractions, and all through this, baby's heart rate was fluctuating. You know, she was up, she was down, and in the end they had to put a clip on baby's head while she was still in my stomach, just to monitor our heart. because obviously I'd been in labour for such a long time and things had happened meanwhile while this was happening. You know, what also they had to break my waters for me because my waters didn't break. This baby did not want to come out. And so yeah, while that was happening, baby was a bit stressed and whatever. Anyway, we went all through that night, all through the 29th, all the way through the night. My mum and Gav, bless them, were absolutely shattered. They didn't get any sleep. They had to stay on the chairs. At one point they even had to share a chair because they didn't have 2 chairs to spare. But then they finally got 2 chairs. But I went all the way through the 29th and then it come to the 30th. So they tried again on the morning to see if they could get my labour going. I had an epidural during my labour because, you know, I thought to myself at first I didn't want an epidural, but I was in that much pain that, you know, the epidural really helped. That did calm things down. I tried the gas and air, and to be honest with you, the gas and air didn't work. It just made me hysterically laugh. My mum witnessed that. Unfortunately, Gav was not in the room when this was happening. He'd actually gone to get some food because it's been a long night. Not a lot of things were still happening apart from contractions and, you know, general labour. But yeah, the gas and air made me hysterically laugh to the point where the nurses were laughing with me. It was that bad. And then I had the pethidine. And then the pethidine just made me sick. It did make me sick. I was being sick quite a lot during my labour because of the pethidine. Until I had the epidural, which calmed me down. So it came to around about 6 o'clock on the 30th. And the nurses came into the room. They'd actually been watching me on the monitors outside. They could watch all of our screens and just check how baby was doing. And then the male nurse, he actually came in and he said, I think we're going to have to take you down for C-section. Well, I'd actually never really looked into C-sections or known anything about it. Like I just it hadn't crossed my mind to do that. But obviously I said to them that I would approve and that I would go down for the C-section because all I wanted was for my baby to be safe and obviously for me to be healthy as well. So around about 6:15 we went down to the theatre. At this point I felt really sorry for my mum because she'd obviously been through all of the labour with me, and then only one of them could come down to theatre, which I think obviously was going to be Gav. So my mum had to wait, you know, patiently for me to have the C-section. So about 6:15 we went down and I got prepped. They prepped me in the theatre. Gavin was next to me the whole time. He was prepped in a nice big blue gown. I believe there's a picture somewhere which we'll probably insert to show you, just because he likes to tell that story. But yeah, so we went down, got prepped, and by 6:15 she was here. Like, I went down at 6:15 and at 6:15, 8:42 to be exact, sorry, 6:42 to be exact, she was here. I got her. Now, during the C-section, if you are worried about it, if you are scheduled to have a C-section or you're thinking of having one, honest to God, I couldn't feel any pain whatsoever. The only way to describe a C-section is it felt like somebody was washing up inside me. I don't know, that sounds really strange. I could feel a little bit of tugging, a little bit of pulling, but I couldn't feel any pain, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, the tugging sensation and the washy-uppy feely sensation felt really, really bizarre. But she was here, she was safe. I went back down to the ward. She came out, she was £7 8 ounces. We did come out of hospital on the 4th of November, the day before bonfire night, and that's how long we stayed in for. So I went on the 28th, I had her on the 30th, and we came out of hospital on the 4th. So yeah, I mean, as a recovery of a C-section, it wasn't pleasant. Like, I suffered a lot with pain. That first night of having her, I don't remember a lot because I was on that many painkillers to try and help with the pain and the soreness. I don't remember anyway. But yeah, I mean, other than the recovery and the C-section and everything else, you know, it was as birth can be. How have you got on? Have you had a C-section? Are you planning to have a C-section? Have you given birth? Have you had your first baby? How have you got on? How did you get on with it? What's your experience like? Tell me your stories. I'd love to hear them. So yeah, but that's really me. That's really my pregnancy, my labour story, my birth story. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like I said before, if you did, don't forget to subscribe, put those thumbs up and hit that notification bell. as well, to make sure that you tune in for a new video. I am hoping to do some more fun videos, not just chatty videos as well, so be sure to look out for those. But for now, thank you very, very much for listening to my story. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Bye. And you know, and it was as birth can be. How did you